I'm wondering, when was your last handshake?
I know exactly when mine was.
What was it?
Well, my last hug, I should say.
Okay.
When I was doing Ugly Bakery, couldn't find eggs, and it was before we really were social distancing.
Yeah.
Someone brought eggs to the station for me, and I gave him a hug. I didn't even think about it.
That was your last hug.
Yeah. And I think about it, and I go, oh, gosh, I probably shouldn't have done that.
I'm not a touchy-feely kind of guy.
Yeah.
Unless I know you, then I
Right.
might do a hug. But I usually just don't hug people, random people that I don't know. I think it's like I'm getting in their personal space. Why would this ugly creature come and hug me kind of
please.
thing, I'm thinking, But I always do a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Always a firm handshake. And I haven't shook hands since March.
Do you know the last person?
Yeah, it
you
was some
shook
guy here.
Huh.
Some guy that was visiting the radio station. That was my last handshake.
Yeah, do you think handshakes are more guys and hugs are more women?
It could be.
That's what it feels like to me, but I don't know.
It could be.
I'm a hugger.
I don't know if you even remember. Maybe you do. It's like your last memory of your last hug or your last handshake, some kind of contact that's customary.
Yeah.
That now is you don't even get 6 feet near a person, So when was yours? 800-447-7234. You can call or text his morning crew right now. When was that last handshake?
I know. Wow. Like I'm physically aching to hug somebody.
Yeah.
Right this very second. Isn't that weird?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's weird.
It is. Here, we'll find a teddy bear or something for you.
Please, or a doggy. Maybe a
A
puppy.
little doggy.
His morning crew.
I'm sorry if you're like one that likes to hug or do a handshake. It's like it's over
Just for now.
for now.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe we have to practice it for a long time yet because this is not going to be. We're not going to hear one day. Okay, it's done.
Right.
Get back to life the way it is.
Get out there and hug it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow comeback, but we are going to get past this thing. Liz is absolutely right. But what about you? Your last hug that you remember, your last handshake at 800-447-7234. Nancy's along with us. What about you, Nancy?
I am a hugger, and I tell you what, it just stinks. I am having y'all are hitting everything with these songs this morning. Because I am every bit of every song, Phyllis. Wow.
Yeah, God knew what you needed this morning. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, girl.
Nancy, you said you're a hugger. When was your last hug?
2 weeks when I saw my mom, she's still here, but only in the body.
And you haven't been
So-
able to visit her because of all this now.
Nope. So, I love you guys.
Love you too.
I have to work out my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. You
Y'all
have
are
to-
rocking. I love you guys.
Oh, you know what? We're going to rock this for you this morning. Nancy, this is for you. Fix the mascara. We're going to get through this day together, girl.
His morning crew.
We're hearing from Joe today. Hey, Joe, what's going on?
Well, I'm a police officer. I've been a cop for 34 years, and I listen to you every morning. And my brother contacted me yesterday about BP gas. Hey, they give you all 50% off all first responders, law enforcement, such as that. I looked at it this morning, and it wants your full name, address, social security number, date of birth. And when I went to this, it went from a BP website to a Verify ID something, not even BP anymore.
They're utilizing ID.me. So this is a thing, and they're not doing 50% off. It's like 50 cents off a gallon. BP and Amoco are doing this, and they're using the ID.me to verify that you are who you are so that people aren't taking advantage of this.
So it's a safe thing then.
Thankfully, it is.
Because being a cop, a real spectacle of people wanting your ID information,
Yeah.
and then it gets swiped, and you're like, well, that was stupid. I knew better.
Exactly.
But good thing you're checking it out.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate everything you do.
We appreciate you. I mean, you're out on the front lines in the middle of all this, making sure that we're going to be safe through whole social distancing. And I know it's really tough, but Joe, you're doing it for us, and we're very, very grateful.
Y'all fill me up every day. My cup runneth over, so I'm out here for the grace of God, and God put me in this position a long time ago, and I've enjoyed every day of it.
Wow, that means a lot, Joe. All those years of service to keep people like Liz and I safe.
Exactly. Every day in our families.
You are just amazing. Yeah, it is a real thing.
It is.
It is. What Joe's talking about, BP and Amoco, they said 50 cents off a gallon. This is for first responders, for doctors, nurses, and hospital workers.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have the website for you. So if you text us and you work in one of those fields, we'll just send you the information so you go to the right link and not some off thing that was trying to steal your info.
Just like that. And gas is already fairly cheap right now, or I should say very cheap right now, and an extra 50 cents off per gallon.
For some places, that'd be under $1.
That would be super cool. My daughter's
Under
a nurse.
$1.
I got to send her this information.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we got it for you. Just text us if you're in one of those fields. Just let us know, and then we'll text you the correct link.
There you go.
So you can get right to it.
His morning crew.
The texts are coming in because they just heard the police officer call moments ago. We're talking about BP and Amoco. They're giving like 50 cents a gallon off for doctors, nurses, hospital workers, and first responders. And so Joe called and said, "Hey, have you heard this thing? Is it real?" Yeah, it is real, but the verification is something else. Holly's a nurse, and she said, "Hey, I want to know this info because I'm a nurse."
Yeah, and then Keith said not only is he, I guess, in healthcare, but his wife works in the ER and his son works in the OR. And so to get 50 cents off a gallon, that is going to be huge.
Yeah, BP and Amoco are doing this, but the verification is pretty serious.
Yeah, they want to know all kinds of information, but it's legit.
Yeah, Taylor, that's Liz's daughter,
Yeah.
is a nurse. And we're hearing about all the stuff you got to put in.
Right.
They want to make sure that nobody's taking advantage of this, which is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you're going to need your documentation, like your license number and that kind of information.
You're like she has a license to be a nurse.
Exactly.
In the state that she works
Right.
in. Yeah.
So you're going to need to put that information in, but then look at the payoff, 50 cents per gallon, and we know that you may be traveling even a little farther distance right now trying to get to those hospitals or whatever.
I've heard that. I've heard that in some states they're bringing in some nurses from other areas, which is something else. It's pretty serious.
Yeah.
I have one friend I was asking, I got like an email, and it was from one young lady who works at a hospital, and it's COVID. They said, we're a COVID hospital.
Oh, wow.
Everybody here has the coronavirus. And she was talking about how horrible it was at the hospital where she was. And then we have another friend that's not a COVID office. They said, well, it's pretty easy here.
Wow.
Because they moved all the other patients that don't have COVID-19 to
Yeah.
those areas, and so that's where it's safe. That's how they've been doing it in some hospital systems.
But it makes total sense to separate as we're social distancing. They, especially that they have come back as positive with their test, that they have it, to social distance them from the other patients that maybe not, are as bad off.
Let me tell you, nurses, hospital workers, doctors, first responders, you're on the front lines for us,
And we appreciate it.
are we?
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I'll tell you what I'm very curious of.
Okay.
This whole social distancing thing makes you creative in the kitchen a little bit.
It can when you start running out of things.
Yeah, you start putting stuff together. My wife the other night said, okay, you used to like scalloped potatoes back in the day. So she found some potatoes, just mashed them all up and threw ham in it. And it was our little home version of scalloped potatoes.
It's delicious.
It still works, So
Yeah.
I even had it for lunch yesterday.
Did
so
you?
brought it here. Yeah, as a
Amy
matter
and
of
I
fact.
are on the same wavelength. I asked Joey about scalloped potatoes yesterday.
Are you
If I could-
serious?
It's so weird that you said
That's
that.
crazy.
I don't know.
So, okay, here's some suggestions
Okay.
just in case you're running out. Like apple and peanut butter is a thing.
Oh, that's so yummy.
People, I kid you not,
Okay.
mustard and apple.
That is disgusting.
Sounds
what-
like it, right?
Yeah, what is the
a
flavor that it brings out, I wonder?
I don't
The
know.
mustard.
I don't know, but I might try it if I get desperate. Now, here's the thing, too. Rice Krispie treats,
Oh, love them.
How you can even make them.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what some people have done. I kid you not. And again, curious about your own creations at 800-447-7234. But it's Rice Krispie treats. Hold back with flamin' hot Cheetos.
In place of the Rice Krispies?
Yeah, flamin' hot Cheetos. And if you want to get really fancy, you have Nutella. You dip it in that. So there you go.
What now? Flamin' Hot Cheetos, marshmallow, Nutella.
Yes, there
No,
you go.
Thank you. And then, so Veronica posted on Facebook, they did baked donuts, which is not really out of the ordinary, but I think they had them for a meal. I guess.
You mean that was their dinner?
I think so.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the kids were happy.
Well, yeah.
I
yeah.
guess. How about pizza with M&Ms
Oh,
on
you
top
for
of the
real?
cheese? Yeah, I've seen that. Nasty.
Well, I guess if you need a topping.
I guess so. And then TJ here in the studio, his radio studio,
Okay.
eats potted meat, mustard, and mayo.
Wait, dude, you okay? Are you all right?
That's not even out of
fine.
necessity.
Well, why?
I love it.
Okay.
That's not even like out of necessity. It's a choice that he's made.
Oh, this is not a. Okay.
And then I said, we're having brats at home tonight. And he turned his nose up. I'm like, really? You're turning down brats and yet you're bringing potted meat to the table?
What'd you say?
He's turning down real meat. Yeah. He'll take that potted stuff.
Oh, my word.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I love what this grandma said. She said her daughter said this is like a war effort, referring to the coronavirus. This is a war effort. So she took it pretty serious. And she started sewing for healthcare professionals in her senior living center for her own grandchildren and great-grandchildren and people in the medical field masks.
You're kidding.
Here's how many she's made in the senior center, 150. Since she started it. After her daughter said, this is, Grandma or Mom, this is like a war effort.
She's cranking them out because
she is.
She probably didn't start more than, let's say, 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And she is 150 in.
Yeah, 96 years old, by the way.
Go, G-Ma.
And she is hitting it and hitting it hard. She's in Greensboro. So right in our backyard.
That is wild. My mom has started to try to figure out how to make her own masks. She's not very technically savvy, I guess. Mm-hmm. So she's not going online and getting patterns or anything, but she's trying to come up with her own version of it.
Oh, really?
And she made her own.
She should patent it.
She should.
You know what one of my friends did?
What's that?
They didn't make a mask. Mm-hmm. They took an old T-shirt.
Okay.
They cut off the sleeve of the T-shirt.
Okay.
And put it over their head from their mouth down. So it's like covering their neck.
Yeah.
And their not the mouth down, but nose down.
Right.
And so that's their mask.
Well, because they're very difficult to find right now.
Exactly.
And so you're needing to protect yourself. I was in, like I said, the grocery store yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of people in there. Most people had masks on, but some did not.
You?
I didn't because I don't have one.
You what?
Mm-mm,
What?
I haven't been able to find any.
I'm going to go get a T-shirt.
Okay.
I've got one in my office. You can
Got the
have
sleeves
it. We're making you a mask now, girl.
His morning crew.
In Memphis, there is a beloved pastor. His name, Tim Russell. He's 62 years old when, unfortunately, he had coronavirus, passed away last week.
No.
And his widow, of course, grief-stricken, even though she has her hope in Jesus Christ. I mean, she still was just, that's her life partner, and he's passed away. So the congregation found a way. We, with the human spirit, will find a way. And they brought her some peace and comfort to her front yard.
So the choir came and they sang.
Yeah, choir of the Second Presbyterian Church showed up on the front lawn of their home.
Nice.
And she, of course, was speechless, just brought to tears.
It's horrible what happened.
Yeah.
But they're gathering together to help.
Yeah, they had to find a way to touch her heart, not her physically, but her heart. So
That's good. And I think they accomplished that.
yeah, they did.
Still need a lot of prayer.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
People much smarter than I are making masks with a 3D printer.
That is pretty amazing when you think about it. Using the technology like that.
I don't even understand how a 3D printer works. I do you?
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah. Would you like me to sit down and explain?
I would. Like, what? I can barely get a copier to work here.
Yeah, right? Trying to figure out how to make that thing go.
Yeah.
But I've seen these make prosthetic legs.
Exactly.
And other things, but I like how they're using these to make masks now with the 3D printers.
Right, because as we, have been saying, we can't find them in stores. You can't order them online. And doctors and nurses, of course, first responders, police officers, those on the front line need these masks. If you can print them any way that you can and get your hands on them, why not?
Mm-hmm.
A 3D printer, it's crazy. Technology.
I know, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
So you're going to go make one? Buy yourself a 3D printer and make one. What are they doing? Are they selling it? This is a company? What's happening?
They're donating them.
Oh, they are?
Yes,
okay, now that
yes,
makes
yes,
it a lot better.
Yes.
Just to make them, donate them. Because so many people, especially healthcare workers.
Exactly.
That's good.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Hey, by the way, we're going to help kind of focus a little bit with an egg.
We're going to have some fun. So we have a printable, colorable egg that you can get from us. You can give it to the kids. You can color it yourself. Then you can put it on Instagram, Facebook, text it in with the hashtag I am his. And if you want a copy of it, you can text us the keyword color and we'll send you that link so that you can get this Easter egg, because we know the eggs are scarce. I was in the store yesterday, not a lot of eggs hanging out.
Well, plus it gives your kids something to do.
Exactly.
You can print out multiple of these and make as many as you want,
Sure.
color as many as you want, because everyone's an entry.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get some already on Facebook, and they look phenomenal. There's a lot of thought put into this.
I think so. Stacy sent hers, and it looks almost like she did hers via the computer, which I got to ask her how she did that. But it's really cool. She stayed in the line, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's very cool.
Yeah. And then the traditional crayon stuff.
Exactly.
The guy Tony made his look like it looks like the planet.
I know.
That is creative. I don't know how people can be so creative.
But watercolor or colored pencils, crayons, whatever.
Yeah, stay within the lines.
If
it's
you
okay
can.
to stay within the lines if you want to. So the word is color, and the number to text is the same one you call.
Yeah.
It's 800-447-7234. We'll send you a link so you can print it out, or if you're on the website already, it's there for you right there. 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I've never heard of this before. Pinky syndrome. It's the first time I ever heard of it. I saw it this morning. I'm like, what is that?
How do you get it?
Your cell phone. I've never paid attention to how I hold my cell phone, but evidently a lot of people hold their pick it up
Yeah, I'm like, how?
and take a look at where you hold it the most.
Yeah. You put your pinky up under to hold it steady.
I do the same thing. I'm like, how do I really hold my cell phone? And I hold it if I have it just in my right hand.
Yeah.
I've got the three fingers,
Sure.
and my pinky is at the very bottom, holding the base of it. I'm like, I had no idea I'd even do that.
We hold it the exact same way. So you're putting, I don't know how much this weighs, less than a pound, obviously.
Evidently, it gives you a pinky syndrome.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we alleviate it? Because
Don't hold it that much. That's, a doctor put this whole study together. It's pinky syndrome. Better watch out for it. A lot of people hold the cell phone the same way. If you pick it
Right.
up, you'll notice your pinky finger's holding the bottom of it. If you have it in just your dominant hand, your right hand or your left hand, their pinky really is bracing the bottom of the thing. And so this doctor said, just don't hold it all the time. And so there you go.
wow.
Like
And voice
that.
text. You can voice text a lot.
I do that all the time, but still,
Yeah.
I hold the phone doing my voice text.
Oh, do you? Now, I will
I'm just like that.
generally put it down if I'm voice texting.
And rarely do I hold the phone up to my ear at all. I use speaker and I put it
I
down. Mm-hmm.
like speaker. Joey doesn't like it when I use the speaker.
He doesn't.
But
Why?
now, he just, I can't hear you. Like, how
Oh,
do
so
you-
he has a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
So is that strategy? You don't want your husband to hear you?
Maybe.
Mhm,
Who knows?
It depends.
But now I have to tell him he'll give me pinky syndrome if
you see,
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Nikon is kind of stepping up. Nikon, the famous maker of cameras.
Yeah.
They're going to be offering free classes. Now, normally the classes are like $15 to $50 a piece.
Oh, really?
But they said during the month of April, you can learn how to use that camera. I have one of these nice Nikon cameras I probably got a decade ago. Mm-hmm. My dad was a photographer. I still don't know really how to use it, so I'm going to take some of these classes. You can
For
learn,
real?
yeah, just the basics of like that manual camera. You can also see what you should do to take pictures of pets, because it's going to be different than if you're taking nature pictures and that kind of thing.
A what?
Like of pets or nature pictures.
Oh, nature. I thought you
Yes.
said some big word, fancy camera thing. And
Oh,
I went,
no.
I don't know what a nature alert
No.
picture is.
I only use fancy words when it comes to baking, not for photography, because I don't know anything.
Well, there's a lot to it, because the way that you open up the lens and let more light in and all this other stuff that I hear about.
Right. Oh,
you know,
wait.
how,
Fancy
what?
word. Aperture.
Oh, boy.
F-stop. I do know those. My dad taught me something.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
Dad, way to go.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
How about this guy in Michigan who decided, I want to buy some gas for people?
This is very cool what he did. He saved up $900, but he was saving it up for something completely different.
He wanted a knife sharpener.
Yeah, he did. Well,
He's retired.
Yeah.
And all he wanted was a real expensive knife sharpener, $900 worth.
probably something that he had been wanting for years, but instead he said, you know what? My mom's in a nursing home. My wife is a nurse, works in healthcare. I'm going to give back for all that they do. And so he gave away that $900 a little bit at a time to fill up people's nurses' cars with gas.
Yeah, about 25 nurses he was able to help. He had this big sign to it. All it said was free gas for nurses. And by the time he ran out, he went, oh, I still want to appreciate these people. And so he flipped the sign around and it simply said, thank you for all you do. And then this lady came up. Her name was Elena. And she goes, I want to help you out. What are you doing? She goes, oh, okay, $200. I want to help.
You're kidding.
So $200 worth more of gas. So that helped out even more people.
Right. And it shows that kindness can spur somebody else to do kindness. That's the whole drive-through difference that we do. And when you pay it forward, usually it is a chain reaction.
Yeah.
It's very
and it
cool.
helped out a lot of nurses that day. All of that in Michigan by a guy by the name of Alan.
Yeah.